Hello, you gorgeous individuals, it's Kav here, and today I'm going to be talking about When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. When Dimple Met Rishi is a story about two teens, both just out of high school, Dimple Shah and Rishi Patel, who are set up for an arranged marriage. Both teens are very differing in their personalities. Dimple isn't a huge fan of the traditional Indian family values. She really just wants to be a coder, so she goes to this coding summer program. Rishi, on the other hand, does his best to be the traditional Indian son. He really wants to give his parents what they want. So when they send him to the summer coding program to meet his future wife, he has no issues with it because he is all for an arranged marriage, which Dimple herself is not a fan of. I was lucky enough to receive a copy of When Dimple Met Rishi from Jesse the Reader because he was looking for actual Indian American teenagers to give this book to, which I think was an amazing thing for him to do. So I will leave his channel in the description below. I highly doubt any of you don't know who he is. If you follow me on Twitter or Goodreads, you will know I loved this book with all my heart. I have talked about being Indian a few times on this channel and on my Twitter, but never really in depth. Basically, Indian representation is almost non-existent. People never really consider India when they're talking about diversity or representation. They generally don't consider any part of South Asia, which is really weird because South Asia makes up about 25% of the population. But they never really consider us, and I'm South Indian, which makes it even harder. It's even harder to find South Indian rep than North Indian rep. This book is North Indian rep, but I was able to look over that because it's the first book I've read with characters of my skin color, and that feeling was just something so amazing. Being able to actually understand the culture and heritage was amazing. Of course, I love it when I get to learn about new cultures and heritages, but reading something about you and people who look like you is a feeling that I don't even know if I can describe, especially when you haven't had that at any point in your life. That being said, I loved the Indianness, I guess, of this novel. I think that it was balanced out really well because these were Indian American teens, and I think that equation was balanced out very well. There were some Hindi terms in there, and I love that because I could understand them, and that was really cool. There was a really nice balance between being able to hear a little bit about India, but also still have it be an American YA novel. I also loved the difference between how the two characters felt about their Indian heritage because it was something Rishi was really proud of, but it was something Dimple had more issues being able to connect with, and that was nice to see because I've been in both places. In some ways, I could relate to both aspects of that, and that was, I think, really nice to see and maybe really helpful for people to get a better understanding of Indian culture because they got to see both the good and the bad of it. Another thing I loved about this was that the main supporting character, Celia, wasn't white either. She is Latina, and then the other main supporting character was Rishi's brother, Ashish. So there's really a lot of diversity in terms of race and nationality. I also loved the love story aspect of this. That is what this is essentially. It's a really cute love story, and you may not be a fan of romance, but trust me, you will love this. I do read novels with romance in the forefront, but they're very rarely 5-star novels for me because a lot of times I feel like something's lacking, but I didn't feel that in this. I thought that it was done so well, and I loved all the aspects of it and how it progressed through the novel, and I loved how it was like an accidental meeting and everything, and just how it progressed was done so well, and I loved it. I also love being able to read this novel in both characters' points of views because, as I said, they're both very different, and I loved being able to switch back and forth because I really did get in the mindset of that character when I was reading in their point of view. The writing in this novel was phenomenal. Though it does switch points of views, it is told in third person, but I could still enter the mindset of whichever character's point of view I was reading in. The characters were all amazing. I loved both Dimple and Rishi for different reasons. Rishi is actually one of my favorite characters, and Dimple is such a strong female character. I loved reading about her because she really fought to break traditional gender roles that were set for her. She really fought against that and tried to be her own person. And Rishi was just such a lovable little being, and I just wanted to like keep him and just protect him forever. All the characters were done so well. Even the characters I hated, I loved. Honestly, the only complaint I have about this novel was that I do wish there had been more LGBT plus rep, but other than that, I loved everything about it. Just everything about this novel was great. When Dimple Met Rishi will be out on May 30th, and I highly recommend you pick it up because it is amazing, and it is one of the first, if not the first, YA novel featuring two Indian American main characters. So definitely pick it up. Just read the amazing love story between two completely opposite characters because it's amazing and I loved it, and I'm sure you will too. That's about all I have for this video. As usual, all my social media will be in the description below. My Goodreads will also be in the description below. Please be sure to like, comment, and click that subscribe button. I make new videos every Sunday. I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are. Please remember that you're beautiful and you deserve the world.